Hey there, welcome to this video. My name is Brendan, and today we're going to be talking about how breathing can help you live a long, happy, healthy, pain-free life, and more importantly, how to actually breathe. I know that sounds like ridiculous, right? So I've broken this video into two sections. The first section is things to look into, resources for you to go and look at, listen to, digest, and then from there, thinking about functional patterns and the way in which breathing matters in terms of its approach to decompression and everything like that. So we're going to kind of dive into a couple of things here. I've come across breathing. I've talked about breathing with clients for many years. The importance of breath work when it comes to training people, the importance of breath work when it comes to relaxation, things like that. And there's a ton of resources out there, but I'm going to highlight the best ones for you. A while ago, this guy did the rounds, Mr. Wim Hoff, for his breath work techniques and his wonderful ice bath techniques. And whilst I think he has had a relevant impact in the industry, he's made more people aware of themselves, the dude isn't aging very well. Okay. And when I look at people in the health and fitness space, and when I look at people who talk about things to do with health and well-being, I always want to look at what they appear to be like. Do they look disheveled? Do they look old? Do they look like their life is being regenerated by their techniques that they're using? And for the most part, you'll find that isn't the case. But if you look at people who deal with functional patterns, they only seem to get younger. There is a reason for that. I would shelve things like Wim Hof personally, just because I think there's a lot of ego attached to that practice in terms of the ice bath element. And, that's something for another video maybe. So you've got somatic breathing, you've got meditation, you've got all these different types of breath workshops that go around, and you can think about yoga. You think about the different types of yoga. You think about how over the last 100 years, yoga has become very commercialized and used to exist all about breath. You start to see that actually things change over time. But the one thing that hasn't changed, the one thing that doesn't change is how to breathe. Like, what's happening? We're getting a world that's filled with anxiety, stress, depression, all this kind of stuff. And if you read into someone called James Nestor, he's got a fantastic video, by the way, called 5 Ways to Improve Your Breath. And he talks in the video about several things. The one thing he doesn't catch onto or doesn't lay into is the notion of biomechanics in relation to your breath work. And we'll talk about that in just a sec. So James Nestor is someone to look into. Patrick Mckeown, he's got 2 books that I think you should really check in on. I think he's probably got more than 2 books, but Close Your Mouth being the first book, which is very interesting. That is all about breathing through the nose and postural positioning of your face and things like that. And The Oxygen Advantage is the next book, which I haven't actually read yet, but I know that that's doing the rounds in the functional patterns and functional training space. So there's a couple of resources there for you. I would also look into something called Mewing, or, I think Mewing is the best way to describe it. No, it's not sitting like a cat going mew, 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 or meow, 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 or meow, meow. Okay, meow.
All right, meow, where were we?
I'm sorry, are you saying meow?
Am I saying meow?
Anyway, Mewing is all about positioning of the tongue in relative positions of your jaw and your mouth, and it's actually something I take quite seriously in my own life. I put a lot of emphasis on it when I'm training, in particular, because I believe it really helps and has helped my jaw positioning. I've still got a jawline that is a little bit out of shape. So when you think about things to look into, maybe just go and start reading up about what it means to close your mouth, what it means to breathe through your nose. Your nose is the filter that gets the air ready for your lungs. So if you are a mouth breather, chances are that you're going to be snoring. Chances are you're going to end up developing sleep apnea at some stage. I've had sleep apnea. I've also been quite a bad mouth breather for a long time. And all I can say is the healthier that I get my body to be and the better my mechanics are in my body, the less pillows I need when I sleep, and the more regulated my sleep is, the better my sleep is. My sleep patterns at the moment are just incredible, and I wake up with energy. I don't wake up with an alarm. I'm actually waking up before my alarms because my body's ready to wake up. And that's really important. So if you wake up feeling like you're completely like, oh my God, like you're hungover, chances are that breath work can help with this, and particular mewing and breathing through your nose. Now, that's not to say you need to go and tape your mouth shut, which I have tried, and it doesn't work very well. The best way to do it is to learn how to breathe correctly when you're sitting and standing and moving. And that brings me on to the functional patterns approach to breath work. Functional patterns approach to breath work is very much like thinking about this plastic bottle over here. If I take the lid off this bottle and I compress certain parts of the bottle, so it's crumpled in some areas. Let's do that, okay? Now the bottle is compressed, as you can probably tell. And what we use breath work for in functional patterns is to help use our techniques, our movement techniques with the biomechanics stuff, along with breath work to improve the quality of this bottle's exterior, let's say. So the one way to fix this bottle would be to massage it. So take a physio, for example. Physio would kind of go in and probably poke around and have an osteopath come in, and you see how you can regain some of the structure of the bottle. It works, right? It works. It works to help, but there's still some crinkles in the bottle. But when you take the bottle from the inside and you blow on it, well, all of a sudden, the bottle returns to somewhat its normal form, okay? There's still a few kinks in this one because I've bent it over the years. And that's essentially how functional patterns works. We take the human body and we talk about the pressure system in the body. If your pressure system is compromised and you can't hold your pressures very well when you move, the chances are, no matter what breath work you do, whether you sit and read 5, 10, 15 books on breathing, whether you go to ultimately every single Wim Hoff seminar or online breath work, somatic breathing, yoga, anything, if you can't fix your dysfunctions whilst doing it in terms of your biomechanical structure, your brain and your body is always going to be stressed. I'm not saying you can't reach heightened states of awareness through breath work. I'm not saying that breath work isn't going to help calm people down or help contribute to how people are behaving. But what I am saying is, if you use your breath work as a decompression method, you're going to help to activate muscles that maybe have been asleep for a while. And how we do this with functional patterns is contextual, because breathing is contextual and because movement is contextual. If you are walking, you are going to breathe differently to if you're running. If you are sprinting, you're going to breathe differently to a light jog. For example, if you're lifting a heavy weight, you will brace yourself in a particular way to do the lift that you need to do. Your breath work will change throughout the day based on the positions that you find your body in, because your rib cage is a three-dimensional object that is essentially like an accordion. And a lot of people struggle to connect their expansive breath work into their lungs. They breathe too much through their bellies, through their mouths, and they don't get enough expansion in the rib cage at the best of times. And that's the reason you see people with winged scapulars, or you see people with shoulders that are out of position, because there will be likely some compression in the rib cage. So whilst breath work is a great idea in terms of improving your mental clarity, improving your mind state, improving your sleep, it isn't necessarily always addressed in the right ways. Because if you're lying on the floor practicing breathing, well, what happens when you stand up? What happens when you run? What happens when you're stressed? What happens when you're sitting in a chair all day looking at a computer screen, having to deal with stressful situations going on there? Things change, and we need to be adaptable to that. So the functional patterns approach to breathing is very much functional. It's contextual. It's how you breathe in certain positions, how you can use resources like the books I've mentioned, like the podcasts that you might come across, to help induce better knowledge about how you breathe and restrictions within your body and restrictions within your muscles, and how you can use breath work alongside mechanical work to improve your lung capacity, to improve your overall sense of calm. People who are in pain will often be in a state of stress, and by calming the brain, by calming the central nervous system, sure, you can take some of the pain away. But if you're not dealing with the fundamental issues that exist, like this bottle, you're not going to be able to completely cure yourself. So breath work is a great practice, but it's a great practice when you employ it with the right movement patterns. And that is my kind of take on breathing. How to breathe to become pain-free depends on what dysfunctions you face with your physiology. I'd like to hear what you think in the comment section below, because I think this is an interesting topic nonetheless. There are things that I don't know yet about my own breath work, but all I can say is my lung capacity has changed, my rib cage capacity has changed, and I have not specifically done any practice of breath work other than using the way that I train with functional patterns to improve my breath work. Okay, so breathing through the nose, things like that, my tongue positions when I'm moving, when I'm fixing my biomechanics, my general posture throughout the day. Those are all areas that I'm really focusing on. I hope that's been helpful. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below, and really grateful to all the new subscribers. It's been wonderful to see the channel grow, and hopefully we'll have some more people coming in over the next few months as this channel starts to grow even bigger and wider. Share this with your friends, get the discussion going. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, stay strong, and keep moving.